everyone, and welcome back to Crafts by the Bow. This week I'm going to be using one of my celebration items, and I've chosen the Lasting Lily stamp set. Now, from January the 3rd through March the 31st, every time you spend $60 on an order, you can choose something from this little booklet. And you've seen that I've been using the ribbon here and the beautiful DSP with the butterflies on I've been using. And I do have this little Hoppy Together. I haven't used him yet. And so, oh, I've also got this one coming. I haven't seen it in real life yet, but that one is on its way. And so for every $60, you can order one of those. But they have two special sets that if you've spent $120, you can order one of these for free. And it's the Tea Time framelets that go together with the Tea Together stamp set in the main catalogue. And the second one is this beautiful Lasting Lily stamp set. Now, it is a double stamp set and it has some beautiful sentiments on it. So it's photopolymer and there are two little sets of stamps. And it's one of the distinctive stamps, so that when you stamp, you automatically get the shading and everything. And sometimes these can be a bit tricky to stamp with. So when I am stamping, I will give you some tips on stamping with them. But sometimes they have a bit of a mind of their own and they don't always stamp how you expect them to. And today I needed to make a sympathy card. And I wish I didn't have to make a sympathy card, but I thought this one would be just beautiful for it because I like some of the sentiments, like our thoughts are with you and with sympathy. And so I thought this was actually the perfect one to use. So I'm going to make one of the folding cards that you've seen me make before. I made one and it had the lighthouse from High Tide. And it starts off like this. So let me give you the dimensions for this. You need 3 colours, and what I chose to do was, rather than find 3 colours, I went with the Petal Promenade cardstock pack because it has the 3 colours in that you know will go together. It's got the Mossy Meadow, it's got the Petal Pink, and it's got the Very Vanilla. And so I knew that those 3 colours went together beautifully. There's no point trying to reinvent the wheel. I just went with this cardstock pack. So in the Mossy Meadow, I cut one piece at 6 1/4 by 5 1/2, and I scored it on the long side at 2 inches. And then you just fold that over and you get sort of a half fold card. Then with the second colour, I used the Petal Pink, and this is a piece that's cut at 8 by 5 1/4, scored by 4, and folded so that it's almost back to front. You know, a normal card would open that way. We need this to be opening that way. And then you need 2 more pieces of the Mossy Meadow, and they are cut at 3 by 3 3/4. And you need one of the pink at 3 1/4 by 4, and then you need 2 of the Very Vanilla, and this is cut at 2 3/4 by 3 1/2, and you need 1 in the Very Vanilla 5 by 3 3/4. And as you can see, I've already stamped this piece because this is going in the very middle. So let's get this card underway. First of all, we're going to do our stamping. And so we're going to use one of the small Very Vanilla cards. And these are the ones that were cut at 2 3/4 by 3 1/2. And I've got my stamp sets already mounted. And let me find the Petal Pink. Now, as I said, these can be a little bit tricky, these distinctive stamps. Sometimes they work beautifully. This is the first one I stamped. It worked perfectly. The next time I tried to stamp with it, you couldn't quite see the definition that I wanted. So I've seen that some people have said don't have a very juicy ink pad. Make sure it's a little bit dry. So my Petal Pink is a little bit dry. Other people have said to use like a little sponge dauber and dab your ink on, or if your ink was too juicy, to use the dabber to sort of dab some ink off. But I'm just going to try. I've got my foam mat underneath here, and I'm just going to try and stamp it as is. So I'm making sure that I've got lots of ink on. And the part that comes out really light is this piece at the top. So I like to make sure that I've got enough ink sort of in the middle. And then it won't be too light all the way down. Okay, and I'm going to stamp it slightly to the right hand side and on a very slight angle. And I'm going to hold it for a couple of seconds, and then it will just do as it will. It'll either be perfect or I won't be able to see it. I'm not really keen on that. It's a tricky one to see. So I'm going to try again on the other side. And if this doesn't come out right, then I have to pick another piece of card. Oh, that's better. Actually, I can see the definition on that. So I've used the big flower, the big lily, and I'm going to do the same with the small lily. But I'm just going to have it slightly over to the left and on an angle, like this. I have seen that this works better, this ink, distinctive ink stamps. They do work better if you have a darker colour, but because I want this for sympathy, I don't really want it to be too dark. So then my mossy meadow I need for the leaves and the stems. Let's take this one off. This is, the one with the leaf is for the little flower. So let's just, I know it's going to be too long for my paper. So I'm just going to try and line up the little forked piece with the very bottom of this. And you only get just a little bit of the leaf look and the little piece of the stem. And that's actually all I want. So let's clean that one. Oops. And let's put the bigger stem on for the bigger flower. Okay, and again, just going to line it up at the bottom. And because it's photopolymer, you can see through and it's easy to line up. And then you're going to stamp the other piece exactly the same as this. So you'll have two pieces the same, and I've already gone ahead and done that. So you've got two pieces the same, and then for the one that goes in the middle, I've just done the larger flower, and I'm going to put a little sentiment in. And I'm going to do the sentiment with the mossy meadow, and I'm just going to use the with sympathy stamp. So let's just line this up so I know my card is straight. And I want to leave enough room to write. So I'm just going to put my sympathy fairly near the top. There we go. Such a pretty font. It looks really nice. Let's pop this away because we don't need the ink anymore. I'll just put our stamps to one side. And let's start to assemble the card. So we've got the mossy meadow piece with the half a flap, and then the backwards card with the petal pink. And I'm going to put the cream piece just in here. So when you open the right hand side of the card, this is the piece you'll see. And I need to just find my glue. I'm going to put it in with my fast fuse. It's a nice style of card. I do like this one. That opens to the left and then got a little surprise picture inside and opens to the right. Okay, so we're going to close that up and I'm going to put adhesive on the back here. going to put this is the half front card. We're going to line this up. You should have just a nice little border all the way around. And then that will go over there. So you'll open the left, then you'll open the right. And what we need now is to choose which of these is going to be our front. I think I'm going to choose this one. So this one I know is going to go in here. And it needs to have a backing of the Mossy Meadow colour card. Again, that's just got a nice little border. And if this was for a birthday or something, you could really sort of brighten it up by putting some rhinestones on. You could put a little ribbon across. And you could put a ribbon across this piece, which would look really pretty. But because it's for a more sombre occasion, I don't want to put lots of bling on this one. Okay, let's back this with the pink. And then we'll put the picture on. There we go. And pop that onto there. Make sure it's lined up. There we go. And then we're going to line it up so that it covers this piece on the inside, so that you can't tell it's there. And we only need to put adhesive on this left-hand side piece. So I'm only going to put 2 strips of adhesive down, like that. And that's really all we'll need. Line it up so that it's straight and it covers the piece inside. There. Now, here would be a nice piece to put a ribbon over if it was for a birthday or a get well. But as I say, because it's a sympathy card, I don't want to put too much bling on it. So then the recipient opens it to the left and then to the right, and then it's got the little picture inside as well where you can do your writing. So that's the first of my cards with the Lasting Lily. The next card I make, we're actually going to be fussy cutting, and I will be making the lilies in a different colour, in a darker colour, so that you can really see the difference of the distinctive ink and how, you know, some parts will show up more and it will already have that shading in. So I hope you liked the first of the cards that I'm making with this set, and I hope it's one that you'll consider, that if you're placing an order, why not place an order for 120 and get this special set. So thank you very much for watching me. I'll see you all again soon, and it will be Lasting Lily again. Thanks everybody. Bye bye.